Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're going to discuss a very interesting case in medicine that I picked up from the WisePrep app. If you don't already know what that is, it is a fabulous app for NEET PG preparation in the last 1 or 3 months for a quick revision. So let's dive right into our case. Manoj, a 72-year-old male, was rushed to the emergency department following an episode of syncope. On arrival at the emergency department, he is confused and lethargic. Initial observations reveal a blood pressure of 78 by 60 mm of mercury, a pulse of 74 beats per minute, respiratory rate of 32 per minute, and an oxygen saturation of 77%. His past history is significant for diabetes mellitus, hypertension, and CKD. An ECG was performed which revealed the following. What's the most probable diagnosis? Now you know the drill. You're going to pause the video here for a second. Give it a shot. Try and make your own diagnosis and then we'll work it together. Alright, I hope you gave it a shot. Now let's try it together. Well, the answer in this case would be hyperkalemia. But why? Let's understand hyperkalemia and its presentation. Beginning with what exactly is hyperkalemia. Hyperkalemia is defined as a potassium level greater than 5.5 millimoles per liter. It's a potentially life-threatening electrolyte abnormality frequently seen in the emergency department. Now its etiology is as you can see on the screen. But how does the patient really present to you? Well, in hyperkalemia, the clinical features are often non-specific. However, some general features that you can expect are generalized muscle weakness, flaccid paralysis and paresthesia of the hands and the feet, lethargy, confusion, weakness, palpitations, giddiness, and syncope. Of these, we saw that syncope, lethargy, confusion were some things that our patient presented with, right? And we saw that the etiology in our case was probably chronic kidney disease, right? Well, let's move on to the ECG findings. The ECG findings vary with different potassium concentrations. So let's look at each of them. You begin with a potassium concentration greater than 5.5 milliequivalents per liter. At this stage, which is an early stage, what you will usually see are peaked T waves, and these are usually the earliest sign of hyperkalemia. If the potassium concentration is greater than 6.5 milliequivalents per liter, what you will see is a wide and flat P wave. The PR segment lengthens and the P wave then eventually disappears. Once your potassium concentration exceeds 7.0 milliequivalents per liter, you will see wide QRS complexes with bizarre QRS morphology, an ST elevation, high-grade AV block, and any kind of conduction block can be seen. For example, bundle branch blocks, fascicular blocks, etc. If your potassium concentration exceeds 9.0 milliequivalents per liter, what you will see is asystole, ventricular fibrillation, and PEA with bizarre wide complex rhythm. So as you can see, it varies with potassium concentration. What then is the management of a case of hyperkalemia? Well, the management involves various steps, beginning with stabilizing the cardiac membrane by giving calcium gluconate 10 ml 10% IV over 10 minutes. Then you have intracellular potassium transfer. For that, you begin with insulin dextrose infusion. 10 units of regular insulin IV is given, followed by 500 ml of 50% dextrose slowly over 1 hour. Then nebulize salbutamol 10 to 20 mg. Then you have the removal of potassium. For that, we use sodium polystyrene sulfonate or KX-xylate. However, it increases the risk of intestinal perforation and must be carefully monitored. Our last option is dialysis. Well, that brings us to the end of this case. I hope you learned a lot about hyperkalemia. For more such interesting cases and great question banks, do head on to the Play Store or the App Store and download the WisePrep app. And of course, see you in the next one.